30 days from now, you could have your dream coaching business set up even if you've been thinking about it for months or even years. Because the smartest entrepreneurs right now, they're building 6, even 7-figure a year businesses simply by monetizing a skill set they already have. And so today I'm literally going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process I use for my clients using just Claude and a micro niche YouTube channel. So you can literally just copy me, use it for yourself. He came to me with legit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, no short form audience, no sales team, paid ads, email list, any of that crap. And in the first 30 days after taking our new offer live, cash collected $25,500. And I think that was like 31K in contract value. And I've held a bunch of coaches at this point. It's exactly what we do for everyone. And I get it. You probably think you need a massive audience because that's the kind of notion that everyone puts out on the internet nowadays, but you don't need a following. All you need is a micro niche YouTube channel and the ability to use the AI tools that we have available right in front of us correctly. And with those, you can build out the right system in a matter of days. And just so you can actually see the numbers on the dashboard that I build out for every one of my clients, March 25th to April 30th, 25.5K and 31.5K. Just so you know, it's a live dashboard. For example, we can go to the 30th here. This was one day that we had one of the payments come in, just so that you see it's live. But today I'm going to go into where he was when he came to me, where he started. We'll get into all the market research that we did, his offer creation, the pre-launch setup, everything we did leading up to the launch, the organic YouTube strategy that we use, sales process as a one-man show, all of the stats from this entire first month, and then our goals and our outlook, what we're looking to do next, really. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so where the hell was he when he came to me? What was he doing when he came to me? He was at 1,000 subscribers. He legit hadn't posted on YouTube for over 2 years. He runs his own agency and he wanted to teach other people how to start and scale their own agency like he did. So as we can see here, 2.5 years underground, no content, over 1,000 subscribers from 2 years ago. And if you know how YouTube works, that's pretty much dead. We're pretty much starting from scratch at that point. So don't let this 1K subs think that, oh, you need to get 1K subs before you start. You don't. He has no short form, no list, no anything. And he's teaching agency coaching. He knew he wanted to start for a while. He just didn't know how to start. He was analysis paralysis. He was overthinking it, had the goal, but just didn't know where to start. He was scrolling just like a lot of you probably do. He saw one of my reels, this one specifically about all the funnels and high ticket coaching that are working right now. Shot me a DM, straight and simple. We hopped on a call. I sent him a video for one of my videos before the call, and we hopped on. He was ready to go, no hesitations, paid my fee, and then we got right to it. And again, the big audience, you need a huge following to build a profitable 5-figure, even 6-figure a month coaching business. You don't. It's a lie. You can use organic content relatively quickly to start and scale a coaching business. And so your following is not the bottleneck. It's your authority, it's your value, and it's your positioning. Once again, here's the dashboard, 25K. You can see all the stats here that we'll go over as well. That's where he was when he came to me. Next, we're going to get into market research. This is the first thing that I do when I onboard anyone. And if you're solo, making your own offer, building everything out yourself, you need to be extremely clear on who you are selling to, or else you're screwed. If you don't have a deep fundamental first principles understanding of who you're selling to, you are fucked. Plain and simple. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. So market research is 95% of the work that everyone else skips. And so before even touching content, before doing anything, I do a deep dive with Claude and Google to make sure we are good on the ICP, competitors, market, niche, everything. So first off, after doing a deep dive, we identify 2 ICPs. You might have one main group that you're targeting. You might have 5 main groups that you're targeting. For him, we had 2. And this was people who, they were trying to start an agency. They kind of had dabbled. Maybe they've done a little bit of work, but they weren't seeing any results. Frustrated, putting in the work, not getting any results. ICP 2 is people who are at 10 to 30K already with their agency, and they have proof of concept. They know what they're doing, but they don't know how to scale. They don't know what the numbers they need, what the KPIs are, what the benchmarks are that they should be kind of hitting with their business. They know what they're doing. They just don't have the systems. They don't have the data. And so once we identified these 2 subgroups within our larger market, we did a deep dive on both groups. One key mistake that a lot of people I see make, they identify their ICPs, but then they kind of group them both into one bucket. These are 2 very different types of people, ICP A and ICP B. So when we're going through the latent conditions, which I'll explain in a minute, they're doing all of this for both of these groups at once. You need to do this for each group individually because they both, ICP A and ICP B, They have different problems, beliefs, daily actions. Someone already at 30K a month with their agency has very different daily actions, very different beliefs than someone who started and they're not scaling. So once we've identified these two buckets of people that we are really we're going to get after with this offer, we need to go deep. Whatever you need, go deep with Claude, talk to Claude, do your research, and identify all of the problems, the beliefs. What are these people thinking? What are the beliefs that they have at this point in their life? What are the daily actions that they're taking? What do they feel on a day-to-day basis? What emotions, what pains are they going through? What goals do they have? The goals of ICP B are going to be very different than the goals of ICP A. So you need to be very clear on the goals and everything else for these two groups of people. What expectations do they have? If this person does a certain amount of work, a certain amount of outreach, a certain amount of inputs, they have very different expectations for the outputs that will follow than ICP B, for example. What are the driving forces? Why do these people want to even start an agency? Why do they want to build this business? Why do they want to build this business, this type of business specifically? What are their origin stories? So get very clear on the latent conditions for each of your ICPs. It could be one sub ICP, it could be 5, 10 sub ICPs. Probably not 10, but 5 is very feasible. So from there, once we've identified all of these problems, we need to go from the latent conditions to the problem chain. What is the problem chain? These are the chain of beliefs that your customer needs to hold in order to make a purchase from you. So we go from unaware to problem aware to solution aware to product aware. So really think about it. I don't know if you're selling what type of coaching, business opportunity, health coaching, relationship coaching. Think about what beliefs based on these 5 stages of awareness should be unaware right here, problem unaware should be living right here. But what beliefs do they need to have throughout these 5 stages in order to become a buyer? I'll walk you through so you can kind of get a sense for how I think with this specific agency business opportunity example. And so unaware, people don't know that they know they're not happy with their current situation. They might want to start a business, but they don't know how. They know there's a problem, but they don't know the next step. Next, these are people, they know they want to start a business, but they don't know how. They're aware that they don't know how to start a business, so then they start looking. Then they think, okay, what business do I want to start? Then we bring in solution aware. They need to be aware of our specific solution, which in this case is starting an agency. Okay, out of all of the different businesses that you can start, they need to be convinced that online business is the best way to go compared to like an in-person business. And then they also need to be convinced that an agency is the best online business to start compared to, let's say, e-com or sales or crypto or trading. Whatever online business, they need to be convinced that agency is the best possible online business for them. From there, after the solution, they need to be convinced that our specific product is best to teach them how to start not only an online business, but an agency. They need to be convinced in product aware stage that this coach is the best person to go to learn how to start this agency. Because if they don't believe that, one, they need to start a business, they don't believe that an online business is the best business to start, they don't believe that an agency is the best online business, and they don't believe that this specific coach is the best person to learn how to start an agency from, they're not going to buy. Then from product aware, we want to be most aware. Most aware means that they're ready to go. They know this person, they know their product, and they want to move forward. From these two areas, the latent conditions and the problem chain, you can come up with a pretty sick market research doc just talking to Claude. Ours are usually 50 plus pages that we load into our Claude project for all of the marketing, for all of the offer creation, etc. People who skip this is literally laying the bricks, laying the foundation. If you skip this, you're just going to hurt yourself later down the line. And it can be easy to skip because some people, don't really know how deep they have to go, but you should be very clear on all 8 of these areas. You should be clear on every single stage of the problem chain for both of your ICPs. Because again, ICP A, bucket A might be different than ICP B. That's market research. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. This part can be, easy to fuck up. From there, we have our market research. We know which audiences specifically we're going after. Now we're going to actually create our offer to present to both of those audiences, both of those ICP buckets. Goat, Hormozy, if you know him, you know him. But let's get into offer creation. So I like to follow in terms of how we're structuring our actual program, our product or service. For coaches, I like to follow the 3-pillar system. That's going to be presenting the coaching and the actual support that you're getting, whether that's a certain number of calls each week, one-on-one, group setting, text access, phone call access, all of that nitty-gritty stuff in terms of the actual access to you or your team. Second thing is going to be the community and resources. A large part, especially if you have a high level, for example, business opportunity offer, people love the community aspect because they see other people winning and it motivates them. They get to meet people doing the same thing that they're doing, especially in the biz op space. A lot of these people are starting online businesses. They're just living regular lives. Most of the people in their life outside of their online business have no clue what the hell they're doing. So it feels good to them to come into a community where they have people doing what they do. Like, for example, me, I run an online business, felt isolated as hell in the beginning stages when I had no one who was doing what I was doing. Simple as that. And I'm sure whatever you're teaching, whatever you're debating coaching on, you can agree with that. And so on top of that, the resources in their community, whether that's coaching, whether that's guides, templates, etc. Then the pillar 3 I like to use is the unique mechanism and the curriculum. So for agency coaching, it's going to be client acquisition. How are they actually selling their services to their clients? Their marketing process. Are they doing organic content, paid ads? How are they actually getting these clients? And then service delivery. So we have a whole bunch of resources in each of these 3 areas. And we break the pillar 3 down into these 3 main subsections. So just essentially all of the information, resources, modules that they're getting will come into this pillar 3. But this is the framework that I usually like to use, the 3-pillar system. You can use all of your market research, all of your competitor analysis, all of your onboarding info. I guess you don't have onboarding information if you're doing this for yourself, but when a client comes to me, I get a ton of information from them to then put into our Claude project, so that we have the information stored, and Claude's outputs are based on the onboarding information that the coach gives me. Once you have the 3 pillars, once you have the market research, you need to get very clear on how you're differentiating yourself from everyone else in your market. The most successful coaches in each niche, they have a very unique way of doing things. So example, this coach, a lot of other agencies have their own ways of doing things, but he was very, very, very data driven. So in our messaging, in our marketing, we zoned in on the data aspect of things because that was really going to resonate with this ICPB, the 10 to 30K a month people. They're growing their agency, but they might not have the best data to make informed decisions based off of. So we really dialed in our unique mechanism around data. I'm not going to say exactly what it was because it might give it away, but very, very dialed in unique mechanism, our way of differentiating ourselves in the market. So think for you, whatever you do differently. Let's say you're a fitness coach and everyone in your market is very dialed in on, the weight training regimen that you're using, but yours is more diet driven. Create a unique mechanism around the diet on top of, the weight training to differentiate yourself from other fitness coaches. Once you have your unique mechanism, once you have your offer built out, that's when we're going to go into your offer statement. This is going to be present in, some of your messaging, in your YouTube videos, for example, or your opt-in form, your landing page, however you're converting people from your YouTube channel to your offer, to book a call, to apply, etc. They're going to see some sort of offer statement. And so a good formula to start off with is, this is very generic, but the general flow of it should be, we help this very specific group of people get this very specific result without XYZ painful things that they don't want to do, in X days, X weeks, X months. Once you have your offer, the things that you're actually providing to people, your service, you have your unique mechanism, and you have your offer statement, you can then go to market. And so for him, we started his offer off at $7,500, 7.5K. That was our starting point. And I think it was for around 30 days, obviously depending on your experience, your market, your ICP. If you're selling to a rich audience versus a poor audience, that's going to impact your ability to charge a higher ticket price. Use discretion there. We were selling to mainly existing agency owners who somewhat had money, so we were able to charge a higher ticket price, 7.5K for 30 days. From there, we'll get into the pre-launch setup. This is how we built up to actually taking the offer live on the internet. Another misconception, you need a huge buildup with your large following that everyone says you need to have. You need to build hype. You need to build urgency. You need to build scarcity. That's like, yes, that's good if you have a following. Don't get me wrong. It's great to build hype, scarcity, so that people jump on the opportunity the first chance they get. But for people who are just starting, people who want to monetize their skill set that don't have that following, you don't need that. You can literally start with a YouTube channel, no launch, none of that, BS, rah-rah that everyone says you need. For him, he hadn't posted in 2.5 years. That channel is basically dead at this point. We reactivated his channel by taking a look back at the market research. What are the main problems his audience is going through on a day-to-day basis right now? So we made 3 different videos just to get the channel rolling again, get people who might have watched him 2.5 years ago back on his page, or people who are new to the space that haven't seen him before, get them top of their mind. From there, I'll go into the flywheel VSL a little bit later, but we created a full flywheel VSL. VSL means video sales letter, as the center point to his YouTube channel. All videos would tie back to this flywheel VSL. And instead of having a normal VSL that's on an external link, people need to click off of the YouTube platform. We use a flywheel VSL for these micro niche YouTube channels because it keeps people on your channel. When you show YouTube that you can retain people for multiple videos and get them to spend longer on the platform, that means they're spending longer on YouTube. YouTube gets to show them more ads. YouTube makes more money because they're showing them more ads. You keep people on the platform longer, YouTube's going to push your video out to more people longer. And it's going to get a better sense of who is actually watching your videos to push your videos to similar people, if that makes sense. Then from your flywheel VSL, you want to have your Typeform application. You can use a bunch of different softwares. I use Typeform application where people will watch the video. It'll be very, very persuasive copy. And again, if you are not a copywriter, if you don't know how to write marketing material, if you don't know how to speak persuasively, you can use Claude. Say, hey, I have the X, Y, and Z offer I'm selling to XYZ people. Help me write an X minute video sales letter. You can say, I need to write an organic VSL. This will be on YouTube. So it still needs to be valuable while still being persuasive and pushing people to your application, having some sort of CTA at the end. You can use Claude for that again. These are the things that we need to build out leading up to taking the offer public. Once we have the VSL, once we have the application and the calendar set up, again, that's all tech stuff that we're not going to get into in this video specifically, but we have a Typeform application and we link the applications to each YouTube video. And in the description of each YouTube video, it's going to be the flywheel VSL, and then it's going to be the application specific to that YouTube video, so that if people are applying from the VSL, we know. If people are applying from other videos, we know. So we know exactly where each lead is coming from. Once that lead applies, they're going to schedule a call. If they're qualified, they let us know that they have the budget that we need to have them to get on a call, make it worth our time. And from there, they will be taken to a thank you page, a video pre-call page that they'll need to watch before they hop on a call with us. So it's going to get them to acknowledge the next steps, move them from interested to bought in before they get on a call. And then it's going to take them through the typical objections that your ICP is going to have. A certain amount of very common objections that will come up for a certain group of people. And so this pre-call page is going to pre-handle them to get them in the most prime state to buy before they ever hop on a sales call with you. And so for another client, this is not the client in this video, but this is a different client. This is the pre-call page that we built for him. Thank you video, just addressing the logistical next steps, letting them know that their call is booked. Then we take them through FAQs, frequently asked questions, essentially pre-handling these objections that I mentioned. A little bit about the offer and the program, letting them know to add the call to their calendar so they get a reminder so they don't no-show, and then a link back to the actual VSL. Again, that's a separate client. That's not who's in this video, but that's an example of what a good pre-call page should look like. And so the point, as I said before, with this pre-call page, with this pre-call process, is to get them in the most prime buying state before they ever show up to the call. We'll go through the issues we had with our pre-call process with this specific client, but this is to get intent up, to get show rate up before the call, making them watch this pre-call page here. From there, let's keep it fucking rolling. Let's keep it rolling, fellas. From there, we'll go into our YouTube strategy. Once we actually push the organic VSL live, the flywheel VSL live, we link it to all of the existing YouTube videos. Then we keep pushing more content so that we have new eyes, existing eyes coming back onto our YouTube page. Because you have to remember, someone could watch your video once and not buy. But if they keep seeing you over a week, a month, a few months, they're eventually going to buy if in their mind you are an authority and someone who can solve whatever problem they're going through. Like I said, we'll get back into the YouTube strategy now. The Flywheel VSL is from Dustin Verano. Shout out him. The purpose of this Flywheel VSL, Flywheel long form approach, is that you don't need 100,000 subscribers. You can do this with a micro audience, a micro niche YouTube channel. I don't know if I've said this yet, but a micro niche YouTube channel is just a YouTube channel. It's a small channel that has a bunch of content on something very, very, very specific. And with that specific content, the algorithm is going to push it to a specific type of person so that really you're going to have a small number of subscribers. You might not get thousands and thousands of views, but the views that you do get are very, very qualified because your YouTube channel is only about one very specific thing. And for this coach, it was how to start an agency and how to scale your agency. First thing, I walked you through the Flywheel VSL, the organic VSL kind of approach, where you have one core video sales letter that's organic, it's still giving value on the YouTube platform, but it's a very calculated video. It's scripted, it has the right copy, has a call to action in the middle and the end to push people to your application. But what do I do outside of the Flywheel VSL? How do I create content outside of that centerpiece? Well, we'll talk about the outlier strategy that I use for all of my clients. We are going to search through similar niches. You can search through your niche. You can search through similar niches on outlier videos. Now, what is an outlier video? That is a video that is performing significantly above the channel average. So if someone has X amount of typical views, let's say they get 1,000 views on average for a regular video on their channel. If a video gets 10,000 views, that's going to be an outlier. That means that video got very good engagement, very good retention, so that the YouTube algorithm kept pushing it, kept getting engagement, kept getting retention. It keeps pushing it out. An outlier means that video kept the person on the platform, and YouTube likes that. So what we can do, we don't have to have the same exact content style as them. We don't have to have the same exact offer, niche, whatever it is as that outlier video, but we can take it, steal like a boss, and iterate it, put our own unique twist on it, and copy the packaging. And what do I mean by packaging? Thumbnail, title, intro. That's how we get people to stay for the video. Person judges a book by its cover. They look at the thumbnail. Okay, is this something that could potentially give me dopamine, be entertainment, or be educational? They'll look at the thumbnail, they'll look at the title. If those two things align, then they'll click on the video or hover over it and watch the first 10 seconds, first 20 seconds. So the thumbnail, the title, and the intro of the YouTube video are the key to the castle. They're the gate that are going to get people in to watch the rest of your videos. So those three things need to all be congruent, and those three things need to get people to say, okay, this is going to either be entertaining or be worth my time, and I'm going to get something out of this. I'm going to learn something from this. So that we use the outlier strategy, especially for thumbnail titles. From there, in the intro, I use the PACE format, PACE. If you want more on the PACE format, go DM me on Instagram, but it's just essentially an intro format. From there, we can script, our intro, even just our intro, or we can script the rest of our video with the Claude. We have the research document. If you have sales calls already on the board, what we do is use Fathom AI to record our sales calls, take the transcripts, and feed them back into Claude. We're getting buyer language. We're getting all of the pains and problems that people jumping on calls, especially if they're closing. We want to take note of what that person is experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And then we're using the outlier format to guide our creative strategy for our content on YouTube on a week-to-week basis. The flow from your micro niche YouTube channel should be a new video. The first thing in the description is the Flywheel VSL. People will go from that video that they clicked on to the VSL. From the VSL, it'll convert them to an application where they'll then book a call. If they're qualified, they'll then watch the pre-call assets. Ideally, you're setting for yourself. So that means you're reaching out to the lead before the call, sending them the pre-call page as well as maybe a YouTube video based on the information they gave you in the application that's tailored specifically to the problem that they're going through. We hopped on the sales call, either close, no close. If it closed, great. If it didn't close, why did it not close? And what was that lead going through when they hopped on the call with you? We can use all of that to put back into the marketing to give us new video ideas on our micro niche YouTube channel. Whew. And on top of that, like I said, this specific client that we did 25.5K in the first 30 days with, 1K subs, he did not have any short form following. But now, a month in, what we're doing is he doesn't want to go record a bunch of, short form content. So all you can do is you have a bunch of content filmed already. That's the beauty of it. You can use something like Opus AI to clip up your YouTube videos, and then you just post those onto Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever it is, to give people short form content so you can get new eyes on the short form content and then convert those eyes to your YouTube channel. That's the goal. If you're doing short form content as well, that's great. But we want it to take from short form, convert those people to long form, and then those people to book a call, because the people that have watched your long form content, those are going to be the people that are highest intent, the most familiar with you, the most convinced that you and your specific vehicle are the best thing for them. Whew. Once you've got someone from your YouTube to say, okay, I'm probably going to pay this guy. It probably makes sense, or girl. We're going to talk about the sales process that this solo coach used that you can use too. One big misconception in this space is, oh, you're selling high ticket. You need a closer. You need someone with $1 million collected in the sales space. That's bullshit. You don't. You can sell yourself. And so you don't need a setter. You don't need a closer to start off. Obviously, at scale, those things are good. But you can sell yourself. And in my opinion, if you're just starting your coaching program, people are going to be most likely to close if they're on the phone with you, the person they actually came to learn from. They're going to be less likely to close no matter if you have the best closer in the world. It's not you. It's not the person they're coming for. Pause. You don't need someone closing for you. You're going to learn the most about your market, about your audience, about your ICP, actually taking the sales calls yourself. So then you can delegate when it makes sense. When you've achieved a certain scale, you can outsource to appointment setters, to closers. But in my opinion, you should be taking the damn calls yourself, especially if you haven't even closed someone yet. Who are you to say you need a closer for an offer that you can't even close someone yourself on when you're the one like people are coming for? Again, pause. But once you get, maybe 50K, maybe 100K, 200K plus, depending on your schedule, depending on your ticket price, you can then outsource to a closer. But the way we're qualifying these people on sales calls is the type form. We're setting budget rankings on the actual type form application. People can let us know what budget they have set aside for your service at the moment. Some people will lie. They don't want to tell their true budget. But it gives us kind of a good gauge for the most part before the call. If someone lets us know that they have $0, it might not be good to get on a call and waste our time with them if they have no money to give you. But we can review the applications. Again, I won't go through the whole tech setup, but we review the applications, confirm the appointment. You as the coach can reach out to them beforehand. Hey, XYZ, this is Stefan. I got your application for blah, 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 Stefan's coaching program. I saw you booked in for a time. Looking forward to speaking. Before then, what you can do, I just want to make sure it's the most valuable as it can be for you. Check out this pre-call page, XYZ pre-call page. And then I saw you said on your application you were going through X problem. Here's a YouTube video I made actually solving that problem. Check that out beforehand. I think it would be helpful for you as well. Self-set, easy. Save 5% commission that a setter would take and do a way worse job than you. Okay, great. They've watched the pre-call. They've consumed the pre-call material. Get them on a sales call. Hey, what's up, lead name? You get a chance to check out those 2 videos I sent over? I knew those would be helpful for you. Then we're on the sales call now. Here's the structure that you can use if you have no sales experience. You don't need it. You don't need sales experience to sell your own coaching program. Here's a general structure, but the best way to sell, be yourself, be authentic, maybe be good, maybe know how to handle some uncertainty objections, especially if you have a large ticket price. There's going to be some sales resistance, right? If someone's expecting 5K, you pitch 10K, there's going to be some sales resistance. Maybe it would be a good idea to know how to handle some of the main objections, time, money, fear, uncertainty, wife, partner, just some regular objections. No matter what offer you get, what offer you sell, you're going to get those objections likely. But a good structure, if you have no sales experience, if you do have sales experience, skip this, but a good structure for your sales calls, for your coaching program. What's up? What's up, name? What's up, Stefan? Yeah, I read through your application. Did you get a chance to check out those pre-call materials, by the way? Okay, great. Yeah, I knew those would be helpful. Yeah, I saw you're from XYZ. Oh my God. Yeah. My mom's family's from there. Nice. All right, great. Well, I have about 45 minutes set aside for this call. Does that work for you? I think we'll need around that full time. Yes, that works for me. Okay, great. Yeah. I mean, what got you interested? How can we help? Just a little bit of intro rapport, get them to start fucking talking. Don't be someone you're not. Don't try and put on an act in the rapport. People can sniff that bullshit out a mile away. From there, we'll go into discovery, understand what they're going through. What does their current day-to-day look like? What are they happy about? What are they unhappy about? What are the problems they're facing? What have they tried? Where are they stuck? The more you listen, the better you'll get at picking out certain things. And where they say, oh, for example, yeah, I've been hesitant to get help with this. Okay. And in the beginning, you might just completely skip over that. But from here, you can go, okay, yeah, where'd that hesitancy come from? Because you've been struggling with this you've been struggling with getting this outcome for, XYZ time period. I guess what's held you back in the past from investing in coaching, from investing in help? Just small things on that over time you'll pick up. But discovery, then we'll go into pre-handling objections, why they haven't done certain things before, what limiting beliefs have held them back, and then we can go into cost of inaction. What will happen in the future if they continue to allow those limiting beliefs to hold them back from getting them to where they want to be? And it doesn't matter what your offer is, you need to go into cost of inaction before pitching, regardless. If you have a business opportunity, what happens if they let those limiting beliefs stop them from starting forever? Will they ever get to the financial spot that they want to be? For a dating offer, what happens if they let those limiting beliefs of, fear of going up to a woman, fear of getting into a relationship, fear of getting hurt? What happens if they continue to allow that mindset of holding them back to hold them back forever? They'll never get into a relationship. They'll never find love. If it's gym, what happens if they continue to allow that laziness to get in the way of them actually getting the physique that they want? They'll be fat forever. Cost of inaction, number 4, just to give you a little idea of what we can dig into in that section. From there, you can ask for permission to pitch. Okay, great. Based on what we talked about, seems like you'd definitely be a great fit for, what I'm doing here. If you don't mind, you can take out a pen and paper. I'll walk you through the kind of 3 pillars that I break my program up into. Pitch the offer. If you don't have the 3 pillars, that's fine. It's really personal preference. That's just what I like to use. From there, okay, yeah, and based on, all of that, do you feel like that can truly help you get to XYZ goal? If yes, great. Pitch price. If not, you can pitch price before you go into the program or after. I usually do after. It's, again, personal preference, depends on the offer, depends on the ICP. If it's more in market, maybe business owner, more financially qualified, pitch before. But we won't get into that. From there, I think it can help me. No, I don't think it can help me. Don't pitch if they don't think it can help them. Don't pitch price if they don't think it can help them. From there, drop price, handle objections successfully or unsuccessfully. Only time will tell. And we go into the close. Every single damn sales call you have, you need to be recording it with some sort of recorder to get the transcript. Again, I use Fathom AI. You can literally record it. It comes into the meeting with you, whether you're on Zoom, Google Meet, whatever. Get the transcript, feed it back into your Claude project. So, like I said, I would recommend taking your calls until you're 50K a month, 30 to 50K a month. That is, depending on what you're doing outside of this coaching program, this business, that'll dictate how much time you have. But for the first 30 days with this specific client, with this specific coach, with his 1K subs, after we took the VSL live, after we continued to pump out content, after we got all of this dialed in, we booked 11 calls over the first 30 days from just his YouTube channel. 6 of those calls showed up. So we had a 55% show rate. That is dog shit. That's terrible. And so show rate was our biggest bottleneck that we needed to fix the next month. Again, 11 calls isn't a huge sample size to go with, but with a small coaching business with a micro niche YouTube channel, you're not going to have a very large sample size off the bat to go into. So you need to work with the data that you have. And so show rate was definitely our biggest bottleneck. That's something that I'll talk about in the end. Out of the 6 calls that did show up, 5 of them closed. We had an 83% close rate because these people were so sold beforehand that this coach was the person they wanted to learn from. They were all in market because all of our market research showed us the problems that our market had, that our ICP had. We made videos on the micro niche YouTube channel accordingly that literally walked them through every part of the process that they're struggling with. And so if you're giving value up front, people are going to be so much more, reciprocal to you. It's all the law of reciprocity. You give something for free, people are going to want to give in return. But giving value for free, they think, okay, great. Wow, I just got a shit ton of value off this random YouTube video. Let me watch some more. Wow, I just got an insane amount of value off of this YouTube channel. Imagine what I get when I pay this guy. That's the mindset you want to have with YouTube. People love to gatekeep on YouTube. Like me right now, I'm giving away a shit ton of value that took me a while to learn, right? A while to walk through, a while to acquire, a lot of trial and error. And so if I had a YouTube video like this when I was starting, holy shit. And so for you watching this, my selfish intention is for you to be like, okay, wow, this is a shit ton of value for free. What do I get when I pay this guy? That's what you should be doing with your micro niche YouTube channel, right? Give so much value, people have no choice but to pay you. So from there, why the 83% close rate? This guy was an authority. We demonstrated his authority, his success with his own agency, and his specific unique mechanism that gave people a new way of thinking about how to be successful with this specific opportunity. The call should not be for you to convince someone. Your marketing, your pre-call process should be so good that people come up to these calls pre-sold. And that's exactly what happened for the people that did show up. Now, we have some work to do on this show rate specifically, but gives you a good idea. And so if you want to, use these 5 steps and have Claude give you a script for your calls based on whichever type of lead is coming in from ICP-A or ICP-B, or it might be C or D for you, depending on how many subsections of your ICP you have, you can have Claude make you a full sales script, even word for word. I wouldn't recommend going word for word on a sales call. It sounds robotic. People do not like to buy from robots. But you can have Claude make you a full sales script if you want, if you're not feeling confident. That's the sales process. Now, let's go into the stats. I talked about the number of book calls, the number of calls taken, and the 55% show rate. This is our lowest hanging fruit right here. This is the biggest bottleneck with this client's business that we need to solve. How do we get more people to show up? Why is it that almost half of these people booked in a call and didn't show up? There's a variety of answers for that we won't get into in this video, but like I said, 5 out of 6 calls close, 83% close rate. We started at a 7.5K ticket price for a 30-day service, and the first 3 payments that we got, those were paid in fulls, PIFs. So you as a coach can offer payment plans if you want to. You could split this 7.5K up into 2.5K times 3. You could split it up into 3.75K times 2, whatever you want to do. You could charge interest 8K. You could do 4K, 4K. However you want to split it up, it depends on your offer, your service, your timeline of the service that you're delivering. Because if you have a 1-month service, that doesn't give people much time to split up the payment, right? If you had a 4-month service and you had a 10K offer, you could split it up and do 2.5K payments or charge some interest for 3K payments, whatever you want to do. But we saw that this market was paying the full price up front, which means that they didn't need to split it up. They had the money up front. And so when we're getting that feedback, we can go ahead and raise price. We went to 9K, and now this client is charging 10K for the same exact price. And so once you're getting client results, for the people that are coming into your offer that you are helping, if you're getting them good results, if people are paying in full, by all means, up the price. 25K cash collected within the first 30 days. As you can see right here, this is the full dashboard. Again, I make this dashboard for every offer that I run. Once we have a full sales team, these closer and setter names are filled up here and here, but the client was selling for himself, so that's why it's empty. There's only one line, right? Okay, 25K, 30 days, 31 in contract value. That means one of the 4 clients that we came in that we brought in the first 30 days were on a payment plan. And so that's why there's additional value between contract value and the cash collected. So out of this $31,000 generated, he had 1,000 subscribers when we started. That's damn near $30 per subscriber. And so if you can keep these metrics up, you are going to make, 5 figures, eventually 6 figures a month with your coaching business. And so those are the raw numbers at a broad view. Here are all the payments that we received: 7.5K, 7.5K, PIF, 3 PIFs, and deposit into a payment. That's pretty much it. That is the full process at a broad view. If this was helpful, DM me on Instagram, let me know, leave a comment, drop a sub to the channel. A shit ton of you guys are not subscribed that watch my videos, so I don't know what the fuck you're doing. From here, that's the full process we use in the first 30 days. Now we'll go on to what do we want to do after this? 30K, okay, good start. We want to get this up to 6 figures a month. How do you do that as a small coach? What does scaling actually look like? You need to keep doing whatever it is you're teaching, especially if you're teaching some business opportunity. So many people in this space, they will start a coaching program around whatever they're doing, ecom, trading, SMMA, whatever it is, and they'll just stop doing the business that they're teaching. Like, are you dumb? You don't stop whatever it is you're teaching. You need to actively be doing it, because then you lose authority. You completely lose authority over your audience, and people will know that you're not actively doing it. And yes, you might make better money from coaching than whatever it is that you're teaching. It doesn't matter. You still need to actively keep doing it. To get to your first several five figures, you don't need a sales team. You don't need ads. You don't need short form. You don't need a huge audience. But to scale, you can obviously implement these things. Next steps for him will be, we'll get a setter so that the show rate is better. People are hitting people right after they apply. Right after they book in a call, they'll get a call, a text, to get that touch point, to get that micro buy-in in the sales process. So they're more likely to show up. We'll get a closer as there's more volume. This person, the coach will be dealing with service delivery and his own business. He doesn't maybe want to take sales calls in the future. We'll help with paid traffic. We'll start running meta ads for him with a call funnel and maybe a webinar funnel. And then start clipping. I recommend this right as you start. If you have long form content and don't want to make short form content, you can just use Opus, clip up your YouTube videos, post them on YouTube, Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, even Facebook if you have an older audience. For this offer, we want to run this up to 100K a month. We need to obviously increase the number of eyes we're getting across the videos. The audience needs to grow, whether organically or with paid. We want the show rate to increase. And so more calls, better quality calls, more content, more eyeballs coming across. All you need, literally, if you just want a few five-figure a month coaching business, it's not that hard. If you have a skill set that you can monetize, that people will pay you for in the wealth, like business opportunity space, relationships, or health niches, you can do this. And all you need is the skill set. All you need is Claude. All you need is a YouTube channel that you can teach people in these long form educational videos, just like I'm doing right now. And so if that sounds like you, if you're saying, oh, Stefan, I've been doing this for a while. I've been wanting to start a coaching business for a while. Maybe I've tried posting on YouTube. Maybe I've tried short form and, I haven't really committed, or I'm posting and I'm just not seeing any results. Use the link below to book a call with me. See if I can help you at all. I'm happy to drop some value. DM me on Instagram as well with any questions before booking, but we can hop on, analyze whatever you're going through right now. If you started, great. If you haven't started, we can map something out for you. And if this sounds like a lot, if this sounds like a shitload of work that you don't want to do, then we can talk it through and I can do all of this for you. I'll do it within a week, like I did for this client, and make it super easy, super streamlined. I get everything that I need in terms of information and onboarding from you up front. I go to absolute town, build everything out for you so that all you have to do is focus on recording content, actually recording the YouTube videos, and then helping people once they come into you, once they have already paid you money. But it's 2026. If you have a skill that can be monetized, there's no damn excuse. All you need is YouTube and Claude. You can do it on your own. You can do it with me. I'll do everything for you. Whatever floats your damn boat. I don't really care. With that said, if you thought this was valuable, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, leave a comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at fpm.stefan. Let me know if this was valuable. My last video, we did a $100 giveaway for the first person to DM me. The first person that responded wasn't subscribed. The second person that responded didn't want the money. I guess he was rich already. Then we got the third person. So if you want giveaways, I'll be doing them, in the next several videos of this channel. Make sure to drop a sub, turn on notifications so you can be the first one to see the video. DM me on Instagram to claim the cash giveaway, whatever it is. With that said, appreciate you for watching. This video took a long ass time to prepare for you guys. I want it to be as valuable as possible. With my channel, I want to give away an insane amount of value. I want to showcase my journey into building a massive online business, building a massive agency, and I want to document the full process. Next video is going to be a full webinar launch with a client, the full day start to finish of what actually went into a webinar on our first paid webinar day. And I'm going to show you all the stats. I'm going to show you what the whole day was like. So stay tuned for that next video. I already have that shot. But yeah, mouthful. Thank you if you're still here. Appreciate you. Drop a like, drop a sub, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.